There's nothing wrong with a grim ending if it fits the movie, but it's all too easy to go too far down that dark rabbit hole. Whether they're comedies, horror movies, or summer blockbusters, these movies all started out as total downers, until the filmmaker saw the light and decided not to send their audiences out of the theater with a serious case of the blues. Spoilers ahead. Rocky. There's no doubt that the Rocky movies are some of the most uplifting films ever made. They're all about finding love, chasing your dreams, and proving that you're someone special. On top of that, this franchise is absolutely jam-packed with inspirational montages. But for a series that's so positive, Sylvester Stallone initially planned on taking these films in some pretty dark directions. According to Entertainment Weekly, Stallone's original ending was downright depressing. Not only does Rocky lose, but in this version he actually throws the fight and then opens a pet store. Not quite the same punch as the Italian Stallion going toe-to-toe with the champ for 15 straight rounds. Get Out. The ending of Jordan Peele's Get Out is one of the greatest fake-outs in horror movie history. After going full Rambo on his white kidnappers, Chris finds himself in a rather tricky situation. Kneeling over the body of his evil ex-girlfriend, Chris suddenly sees a cop car coming down the road. Fortunately, it's just Chris's TSA buddy Rod come to save the day. Talking to BuzzFeed's Another Round podcast, Peele admitted that originally a real cop was supposed to roll up and mistake Chris for a criminal, giving the film a more realistic and darker ending. He explained,
"It was very clear that the ending needed to transform into something that gives us a hero, that gives us an escape, gives us a positive feeling when we leave this movie."
Peele himself liked the theatrical ending much better than the original darker one, adding, "There's nothing more satisfying than seeing the audience go crazy when Rod shows up." The Silence of the Lambs. Sophisticated, intelligent, and always hungry, Hannibal Lecter sent a chill through our collective spine at the end of The Silence of the Lambs. After escaping the courthouse, the psychiatrist makes his way to the tropics, where he gives Agent Starling a phone call before stalking the doctor who tormented him for so many years.
"I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner."
It's a macabre way to end a film, but Ted Tally's screenplay originally had a far darker scene planned for the ending. This time, Lecter is calling from Chilton's office. After saying goodbye to Agent Starling, he puts down the phone and turns to Dr. Chilton, who's tied up in a chair. Lecter walks toward him with the knife and asks, "Shall we begin?" As director Jonathan Demme explained to Deadline, "It was too horrifying a way to close the proceedings. I thought this story deserved more to it than the crude, trussed-up Dr. Chilton about to be carved up by Dr. Lecter." So Talley rewrote the scene and put Hannibal in the Caribbean so audiences could see him out in the world. Groundhog Day. One of the greatest comedies ever made, Groundhog Day was written by Danny Rubin and directed by Harold Ramis. But the two filmmakers had very different ideas about the ending. In the movie, Weatherman Phil Connors eventually becomes a good person, breaks the curse that makes him keep reliving February 2nd, and wakes up the next day, finally free from his Groundhog Day hell. But in Rubin's script, Phil then discovers that Rita is trapped in a time loop of her own, stuck in February 3rd for the foreseeable future. As The New Yorker put it, this is a pretty bleak ending. And we've got to say, Ramis definitely made the right choice by altering the screenplay. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. When it comes to dark endings, it's really hard to beat the original Planet of the Apes series.
Oh my God.
But the recent reboots have definitely tried. In 2011's Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Caesar and Will Rodman part ways in the woods after the climactic Golden Gate Bridge battle. But on the page, things take a much more tragic turn. According to producer Dylan Clark, the guy who runs the primate prison follows Caesar into the woods and shoots Rodman. But this ending didn't sit well with Clark, who said, "The scene, dramatically, was idiotic. And worse, it just made you feel bad. It was just like, oh my god, this is the worst movie ever." Split. The theatrical release of Split doesn't have the most upbeat ending, but as it turns out, the movie could have gone in an even darker direction. Writer-director M. Night Shyamalan originally intended to wrap things up with Kevin sitting outside a school, waiting for all the children to come running outside. That's when the credits would roll, strongly implying that the beast was about to feast. However, Shyamalan said this was way too dark. It made the end kind of feel one note for me about what the Beast's intentions were. I just didn't want the Beast's motivations to be reduced to just killing, that kind of thing. So that's why I wrote the ending you see in the movie. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.